here.
Yay.
You're saying you hit puberty, are you sure? That one sounded pretty weak.
It was a long time ago.
And the effects have worn off. That's how it works.
They come and go. Every once in a while it drops down even deeper.
Damn, son. I was expecting that little mister thing that we got to be a little more misty.
Look at all that. Just a little diffuser. You're supposed to put a scent in the air.
What we were just talking about with
so I don't have to smell you.
With the mic level. And then I said, your mic level, I mean. And then I said, fuck it. It's exactly the sort of thing I'm trying to move away from. I want to be more professional.
No, I think I come out pretty well though.
You come out all right. It wasn't even that specifically. More just a general thing that we need to start figuring out some stuff here. We need to add a little more professionalism to this program.
Yeah, to go along with that professionalism that I'm adding on Twitter.
Well, yes. Well, at least if you're doing it consistently, that would be good. There's just not any consistency with this thing.
Oh, it's going to start becoming consistent. I really liked it. And we got 3 new followers yesterday.
I liked it. I liked the power. Yeah.
It was fun. Even several people were responding to me on that thing that I put on Beto O'Rourke's
Yeah,
page.
I know. I saw you started a whole thread of conversation about
It was
people.
awesome. Some jackass. Okay, so I guess we can lead into that first off. So they tried to, it's just a bunch of them trying to attack me basically, which was hilarious. It was, it was a good one.
But
because I really did just throw out something that I had heard, but I never really did any research on. So
wait, so what did you say exactly?
So I just said because he said something like, it's not about parties, it's about this great state of Texas or something.
He being Beto O'Rourke.
Yeah, and I randomly kind of threw out why did most of your contributions come from out-of-state people or something like that, which I had heard once that he was taking in a lot of stuff from Hollywood and something else. But then somebody else on that thread was like, oh, where'd you find that out? Because he reports all his all the contributions he gets, and they're 90% from Texas or something like that. And then somebody on their side posted a graph of in-state and out-of-state money that they get, and trying to discredit me, which I just randomly threw something out. I didn't say 90%.
They were
or
trying
percentage.
to discredit me, but little did they know.
Yeah,
I have no credit, and I threw things out without research.
Yeah, they said 90% of it for her statistic, and then when he posted that graph, it was 6 million to his 10 million in Texas that he had raised. So
he got 10 million outside of Texas and got 6 million inside.
No. He got 10 million inside of Texas, but it was not 90% of what he had gotten because he had also gotten 6 million outside of Texas.
Yeah.
So
maybe she meant by donation size. It's possible that he had gotten, a fewer amount of people giving larger sums from out of state.
Yeah.
Because I figure if you're somebody who's donating to an out-of-state campaign, it's not a little $5. It's you're probably someone. I mean, you have to really care first off, about politics, and maybe be willing to throw around some money.
Yeah. No, I mean it's just his, and then that other chick that the first one responded to me that said something about at least then why does Cruz something about California people talking good about Cruz.
It was, which is weird, right? You wouldn't expect that.
Yeah, and then so I made that, that other comment thing, and that other dude who's a liberal, I guess somehow either accidentally liked my post or didn't understand my post or something, because he was really on her side. But she was like, oh, no, I've had 10 people from California tell me how good Cruz is and yell at me when I post about Cruz. Which validates my point of, they moved here because California's a shithole state.
Well, yeah.
And they don't want it to become another California because of you stupid liberals.
Well, the question, I guess, there would be whether or not they are actually, what you call it again? Are they, like, are they living here? Or are they from, or are they living in Cali? Like, once again, no research
California.
on this.
Yeah, I don't care. I was just trying to rile up some people. I got 3 new followers, okay?
About to say, it's clearly a dangerous path you're on. You like the, once you start getting addicted to those likes and those follows, you're somebody that's sort of meant for what Twitter is these days, where it's just people arguing at each other.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, they threw out that, and then, because I didn't have any actual evidence, which, I'll admit, I just kind of threw some shit out there because I wanted to mess with Beto, because he's a jackass.
I'm not here to spit facts. I'm here to spit fire in the eyes of...
I did that thing with what you told me to tweet at him, though, which
one?
was... I think anybody who donated that's not a Native American is actually not originally from Texas, so it doesn't count.
Yeah. The only real Texans are Native Americans, so technically he hasn't gotten any donations from Texans.
And nobody said anything to that.
Yeah, because he just put his mind in a pretzel with that one.
I did have some other conservative guy that came in and said something funny.
I saw that when I woke up and I was scrolling down the feed. I mean, but
so I got some backers.
I do hope that you at least stay consistent with that. That's what I want to do just more with.
Oh yeah,
we're starting
to go off on Bernie Sanders again right after we get off this podcast.
We're getting enough things now, enough people listening, or enough clicks where it's like if you want to keep them, you got to actually start delivering a product.
Yeah.
Like, let's be honest. We haven't delivered much of a product here, in our short time figuring this out. There's no...
I don't know about that.
It's just like there's nothing... that's just not solid enough. I really wish this was like a radio program. I guess Dead End Radio is a good name for it, because that's kind of more what it is, where it's just like internet stuff... Like, the way internet things work is, like, people come, to see specific takes on things.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, this is the guy that says this. Every time there's something about X, that's his, domain. And then they come for, the specificity.
Yeah.
Whereas it's just, we're just kind of, reacting to different things we see every day, not really have any sort of, game plan.
Yeah,
when we go in, we just sort of end up talking. And then it's just, free flow.
Have you looked at our YouTube recently?
Yeah, I saw that. It's pretty good.
It's good for that one video.
Yeah.
But it kind of relates to that specificity, though.
Yeah, well, exactly. People like that sort of stuff. And, I think they also expect you to, give a little more, production with what you're doing, And we have been very shabby in terms of all that. We're very,
we're learning the ropes.
No, listen, we need to... I want to improve it. I want a little bit of craftsmanship here.
Yeah.
Something.
And I wish my brother wasn't in school.
Yeah,
I just drag him up here and make him show us how to do some videos.
Yeah, videos, and I don't know. We gotta figure out the whole situation. It's just not, is this going to be our peak right here?
So you know what?
Peak of production.
So when I get back this next week, we're working pretty much that whole week here in Fort Worth. So maybe we should take some of that stuff over to where we're working, and we'll shoot some skits.
Which, take it over where? To the, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I gotcha. Yeah, maybe we could do that. We'll have to think of something.
We set some stuff up. It's a blank house.
Yeah, a blank house.
Nothing we have to work around or anything. We can just set up the green screen, do some funny sketches.
Yeah, I gotta dedicate at least a little portion of every day trying to figure out this stuff more. The fact that we don't have video. I'm shook by that one comment where the person said "wow" when I told them I couldn't get the video up, and yeah, I agree with them.
We're old, all right?
Well,
this passed us by.
There's
just not secondhand.
That's why people, you can't make them stay if you don't have a little bit of sizzle to our steak. Obviously, what we're saying is so meaty and juicy and full of so much quality, but there's no sizzle. You gotta have a few of the lights and the cameras and all the rigmarole.
We're getting there. We got our space up.
Yeah, which was like the first thing we did. That was like a long time ago, though. We need more than that, and it's a nice space. As that comment said, kid shook me. He shook me to my core.
Can't let him get to you.
No, it's not even that. It's that it's right. It's like, you're putting out this thing, and it just shows no care of what you're putting out there when it's so, so shabby. It's shabby.
I think his picture, I think the comment on the picture was not even exactly what you think it was.
No, it's just like, how come there's not a video? You're putting it on YouTube.
But did he say, why is there not a video?
Yeah.
Or did he say, why is the picture not have anybody in it?
Yeah.
Which one of those two? Because you said it different the other day.
I'll look at that right now.
Because when you told me the other day, you didn't say anything about not being video.
No, that is like the thing.
It almost sounded like when you asked, it was because like the chairs were empty. Like we don't have like anybody sitting in the chairs.
I don't think that's it. It's just, listen, just look around at other people, what they're doing.
People do this all the time. They put a picture up and just have voices on there.
Not good ones. I want to be a little, I want to evolve, I want this thing to keep getting better. And right now, we're at a plateau of mediocrity that I will not stand for. Like, I was happy when we got on YouTube, and now that we're on all these, we're on a bunch of different platforms, like, that's all fine and dandy. I hope you start fights on Twitter. That'll at least be a little more consistency.
Oh. I can do that.
Don't you worry about me. Why is there a picture of a place where you could be sitting and talking, but you can only hear talking? And who are you people?
Your mom.
Your mom and your mom, for both of those. Listen, it's not even specifically the comment. It's just that thing of, I don't like that it's a very, very underproduced thing.
Well, maybe if somebody would start giving us some money, we'd start producing a little bit better.
Boy, that's a pitch. Give us your money.
I'm just saying.
I'm not putting any effort. No, you have to, build. You have to put in the effort first, and then you can kind of upgrade.
Yeah, I'm gonna start tagging, the people that we watch more often in some of the stuff. Hopefully, they can, retweet it. And like I said today, once we post this video, we'll tweet this out so that our followers can see it. Hopefully, and all 18 of them.
Yeah, all 18 of them. Guys, gather round.
So.
Blow your dicks off with this one. We'll figure it out. I just want that to be a general thing going forward where we're actually trying to do stuff. To me, it's just very unprofessional. I like looking at,
Well, this is a great time to plug the email then.
Oh.
Guys, if you have any suggestions on what we should do to improve.
thedeadendradio@gmail.com.
Great plug.
Or go to at deadendradio.us on Twitter. That's an important one. Since you're going to be...
Always tweet at us. It's at Dead Radio USA.
At Dead Radio USA.
If we get it right.
Yeah, so do that. We should probably put this at the end of it.
Or we will. We're going to do it several times throughout all the episodes from now on.
Tweet.
Oh, guess who's getting it later, though?
Who is getting
Joe Biden, because he is trending right now. Joe Biden's getting
Guess
some
who's
later.
getting it? God, you're going to be a dangerous animal with this machine.
Yep.
I really just hope...
Boycott In-N-Out. Oh, I'm getting behind that.
Wait, what do you do?
Hashtag boycott In-N-Out.
Why?
I don't know.
Who did Joe Biden go
In-N-Out's a gay California restaurant.
Not in its sexual orientation.
No, just in its general being from California-ness.
I heard In-N-Out Burger's good.
No. It's what Californians say, but to anybody who's actually from a decent state with decent burgers say, meh.
I don't know. You eat a lot of Whataburger. Is it substantially better than that, or
Yes, Whataburger is better.
better than In-N-Out Burger?
Yes.
I'm
Texas knows how to do beef better.
I'm suspicious of this claim.
Texas knows how to do it better.
They actually California seems to care about their foodery, about their eateries. They have some. You don't think so?
They just banned straws.
I think that's irrelevant to that.
Clearly, they don't care about their eateries.
Listen,
when you ban the
anything you're
utensils, you have to
slurping
use
through
them
a
on-
straw is not a is probably not like a drink with a lot of craft behind it.
Also, I mean, don't they have like an $11 minimum wage or something like that? Clearly, they don't care about restaurants because they're trying to put them out of business by doing shit like that.
Why, raising the minimum wage?
Yeah,
Well, I'm
it
sure
doesn't take $11 an hour to flip a burger.
Well, I'm sure they have the same, at least for the servers. I'm sure it's the same rule that applies in other states where you don't have to pay the minimum wage. Where
Possibly.
like you count their, I'm sure. I mean, or else they couldn't, like, you really couldn't function as a restaurant. Your margins are pretty razor thin as a restaurant.
Yeah, I mean,
Like,
it's like one of the most stressful and just out like business that you don't ever want to get into
yeah, what's like
because they
the,
fail so easily.
yeah, there's like a super high fail rate for restaurants.
Oh yeah,
I think it's over 50. At least 50.
Oh no, it's at least 50.
Yeah,
if
it's at
not,
least
like,
50. I'm
more.
sure, I think it's actually more. It's like most of, like half of them at least fail like within like the first year. And then like once you establish yourself and you start getting like a decent customer thing, but even there, it's
I
kind
would
of,
say yeah, but then you have to keep like that up because
Yeah.
I mean it's just
that's actually, I think, why restaurants, they're the most compliant with people that suck, you know? Because we kind of talked about that the other day when we were talking about people like allowing their customers to like quote unquote disrespect them, you know, and that you shouldn't always kowtow. But I think that's why it's their instinct, because like, you know what I mean? They're on the edge of survival.
But I think
You know, like
the
a
reason
big-
why they fail more. I mean,
It's just
look, okay, I have no evidence for this, but I would say the
Boy.
reason they might fail more often is because they tried to kowtow to all these people. So they're just constantly giving free stuff, and like they just keep having to do this stuff that doesn't make them any money.
I don't think that's it. I mean, I just think it's something where like there's just a lot of expense, like there's just a lot of expensive like aspects to it, and things
for
that you
sure.
cannot not do. You know what I mean? Like you need to have all those people there. It's not like a grocery store or something where you don't need like a ton of like staff. You need the chefs, you need the managers, you need the waiters. You have to keep food like it's something you cannot buy it in too much bulk because it goes bad. You know, unless you're just willing to serve everything frozen, but then like you start to lose your quality rating.
Yeah.
You know, and then you have to kind of offer something else. I mean, and keeping all that food and buying it and the utensils, and people are very picky about what they eat and all sorts of things, and the different like food regulations, the different, you know, I'm sure there's tons of stuff with that. Ow.
Yeah.
Ow. What's wrong with my wrist? Ow.
Falling apart.
Just like, yeah, I feel like it sometimes. Just like cramped. Yeah. So I mean, I'm sure it's things like that. Also, it's like a lot of people don't like to eat at new places. People just get into like their things. Especially, I feel like older folks have more the money to go out to eat at like nicer restaurants, and for them, it's like like as you get older, you don't like as many new things.
Yeah, for sure. You're set in your ways.
Yeah, you get set exactly. You start to get into your routine. It's like I don't want to go to this new place that just opened up. I like Chubby Checkers or whatever your deal is. That's all.
I'm just saying. Boycott In-N-Out.
Oh yeah. So wait, why are people boycotting it? You didn't actually tell me the story.
Let's see here.
Live reactions.
Oh, it's because they gave money to the GOP.
Yeah. Well, now do you hate them?
They also gave money to the Democrats. They're from California, so It's just funny.
Is that second part another one of these things that you're throwing out there with no? Do you actually know they gave money to the Democrats?
Yeah,
or?
like they do it like that's how most of these corporations work. They give money to both sides.
Yeah,
that way that no matter who wins, they're fine.
But just, I want a straight answer to the question. Is there? Did it say this there, or are you just like you just kind of assume? I mean, it's probably true.
No, I mean like several people have said it.
All right.
This like list of things.
All
like,
right.
And that's like one of the things they. Like one of the people said, "This is stupid. Did any of you read the article? They gave money to Dems too. Not to mention they gave millions to charities that support children who are victims of domestic violence."
How dare they? So, yeah. This is excuse me, I'm stuttering. That's one of the reasons people get cynical about politics.
Yeah.
Is stuff like that. Just the fact that it's like everyone's kind of just bought and paid for. They're just, they're giving sides to both, money to both sides. Whoever wins, you're my friend now.
Yeah, exactly. That's why, like, I don't understand, like, why In-N-Out would give money.
It's like that old Bill Hicks thing. Like, I think the puppet on the left represents my views. I think the puppet on the right represents my views. Oh my God, they're both being held by the same person. Love Bill Hicks.
That's a funny man.
Texas,
how did he die?
Cancer.
Okay, so he was the one that died of cancer.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's a rough life being a comedian. Not that cancer happens to all comedians, but
yeah,
just the general the mortality rate of being a comedian.
I think it's hard to stay regulated in your body when you're traveling a lot. Like you're traveling a lot, you have a late schedule, and you're in an environment where people are doing, drugs of one kind or another. I think all that makes it difficult to keep yourself. Like I just went to Miami, for 5 days. Nothing much. Little trip. And I feel it took me like 2 or 3 days to get back to where I felt like myself. I just felt a little more down than usual, a little more lethargic, a little less sharp, as opposed to when I'm home and I'm in my routine. And it's like I can do so much more and I can think more clearly and I'm doing, quote unquote, the right things. If you want to think of them that way. I'd actually like to issue an apology to fat people because I feel like I'm a judgmental prick.
No, it's okay. People need to be judged.
No.
Did you see Tess Holliday was on the Cosmopolitan cover?
Who?
Tess Holliday, the really obese model.
How big is she? How many bills?
Just look her up.
Tess Holliday.
Yeah.
Deuce and a half? What are we talking here?
No, it's over.
Oh, whoa. No, she's seriously. She's not like that one girl who was who is the girl that was like she was like supposedly a plus side model but was really just an attractive female. Like
no, it's not her.
Yeah, it's like
she has a Miss Piggy tattoo on her arm.
I think I can actually do a pretty good Miss Piggy. For some reason I got into doing that today when I was in my car. Forgot how my head got there. I think I was probably listening to something like Jordan Peterson was saying. It made me start doing Miss Piggy. Kermie! That's spot on, right?
That's almost as good as your Idris Elba.
Oh, this thing got rules to it, this game. You got to sell drugs correctly.
Did you see her?
Oh yeah, no, she's big. She's she's large.
They were talking about that earlier on Twitter. I saw.
Hey man, listen. This is the kind of thing where if it makes, she's fine with it. She's honest with herself about it.
She's not honest with herself about it though.
How do you say that?
Like she thinks she's perfectly healthy. And, she tells other people that, oh, no, you can be this big and be healthy. It's not healthy.
Everything's got its consequences. But
yeah, everything has its consequences, of course, but that's not healthy, though.
I don't know. Look at Aretha Franklin. She was this big, and she lived a ripe old age.
She was not that big.
Aretha Franklin?
Yeah.
Look up a picture. Sir. I throw the challenge flag on this one, sir.
I feel bad for her pallbearers, then. She was not that big.
What? I'm pulling up a side-by-side comparison.
Yeah, I'm looking. She wasn't that big.
What? I mean, this picture...
You look up a picture.
She's just around the same, size.
No, I don't think so.
Hey, listen, man, you gotta go some way. You don't think there's anything to that? It's just some people want to live their life fast and hard.
So live your life like that, but don't tell other people that it's healthy, though. Because that's not right. You're telling people that you're completely healthy when you're not. That's terrible on your joints. It's terrible on just your overall health. Diabetes. That's why diabetes is so, widespread now, is because of obesity. All those things. That's not good for you. I've known, people with diabetes that have, lost their foot. And, other stuff like that. And it's...
yes. All those health risks are real. If you're really overweight, I just don't like.
You can live like that. Don't tell other people that you're healthy, and promote it as a healthy lifestyle.
Let me look. Give me some of her comments. Let's see.
Who, Tess Holiday?
Yeah, show me some comments so I can join this judging in a more informed way. You're telling me what she said. I want to know what she said. Okay. Ooh, here's an article. Yahoo. Please don't promote obesity. Internet bashes Tess Holiday for latest cover. Here's what some are getting wrong. She's 5'3". She's a little short thing.
Exactly.
Is a 5'3" plus size model, fat positive advocate, and tatted mother of two. Is anything but conventional when it comes to her life and career. Upcoming photo shoot. She's sharing an emerald one piece. What is that? Get to the freaking meat of it. I saw a body like mine in this magazine when I was younger. It would have changed my life. Okay, that's not a bad statement by her. Phew, I'm literally a Cosmo girl. Can't believe I'm saying that. Thank you, Cosmopolitan, for this credible opportunity. I saw a body like mine in this magazine. Yeah, I just read that quote. You get it, girl. I'm just reading this article here. More diversity in the media, please. This includes women, men, and non-binary. Stills and reactions to have not all been. Promoting obesity in the interview, Holiday reveals she is the heaviest I've ever been in my life.
See?
She said,
maybe in her life that would be true.
She said, I'm the heaviest I've ever been in my life. That's not a statement about health. That's a statement of fact about her weight.
Yeah, but she thinks it's healthy, though.
Well, I'm looking for the quote where she says that, so I want to see the greater context of it, what she was saying, and then I will weigh in full-heartedly. But I need a little. See, this is what I'm talking about, professionalism. But we didn't even know we were going to talk about this, so now we have to do research. And you're sitting there silently while I read a Yahoo article.
No,
negative comments aimed at the. I remember very vividly driving the car with Bowie, her 2-year-old son, and I thought to myself, I wish I could just disappear. I wish I could vanish. Up to that point, I was causing everyone around me so much pain. It felt like a never-ending black hole, so tired of hurting. I just didn't want to be here anymore. Some pointed out feelings of pain self-worth. I guess let me go to the cut.
I mean,
I got to go to the article, I guess, because this isn't like really helpful. Because I haven't seen her say anything, you know. Like, if you're...
She's part of the body positivity movement.
Well, like, there's something right about that. You don't need to... Piers Morgan, by the way, criticized her and people destroyed him on the internet. I have this running joke with a bunch of friends of mine that Piers Morgan is like, for a billion in debates. Like, so, all he does is just... At debates. He just goes around... And it doesn't matter what side he's on, like whether he has a more right-wing view or something or more left-wing view. He just always ends up looking bad and having people hate him. Like, it really doesn't matter. He's been on all sorts of issues, all sides, and just, like, loses.
Look, there's a point where I understand body positivity. Like, you shouldn't make yourself feel like shit, but you also shouldn't ever be satisfied with being, like... with doing something to yourself like that.
Well, I don't know if I mean, I'd say the parts that I agree with is just, I mean, everyone has their own sort of inner thing with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've seen some pretty big people that seem just totally fine. It seems like totally natural on them, even in a way, you know, and you know what I'm saying? Like, so
it's a bigger picture thing though. Like, how many people do you see that make it to, like, an older age that are that big?
I mean, like, what's an older age?
I mean, like
60, 70?
Like 70s, maybe 80s.
Oh, like, that's... I don't know. I mean, I'm sure they have lower, like, lifespan. Like, I'm sure that's... I don't think we have to look that up to assume that's true, but at the same time, it's like, it's... If you go out the bigger picture, it's like you only had your one life. Like, that's the thing.
It's not just about you though. It's about your family that you're leaving behind at an earlier age. Your kids, if you have kids. Like, you know, moments that you don't get to spend with them because you overindulge. And it's also just like the overindulgence in things. Like, you know, that's like, I don't know, it's just one of those like things that everybody should be concerned with. Like, you don't have to make yourself feel like shit about it, but you should always want to try to better yourself.
I guess, but some people just, I guess, they don't see, like, that's as something that's... They enjoy the relationship with the food more, I guess. Like, I mean, I don't know. I don't...
There's also a difference between being, you know, a few pounds overweight and then being 500 pounds.
Yeah, but then, you know, then I look at somebody like bigger guy, like, I guess it's a little easier for guys, like, in this respect, because, like, there are bigger guys who I know, and it just, like, it seems totally, like, fine on them. I don't know, like, I'm thinking,
I don't think it's good for them either.
Well, it's not that it's healthier, necessarily.
No, I mean, like, just in...
Like, say, like Chris Farley or something, or like Sam, like Kinison, or like, you know, people like that. Like, they're just bigger dudes, you know, bigger, heavier, like, guys. Okay, I mean, I'm thinking of all like comedians, I guess, but it just seems like totally. I don't know. I don't. For some reason, I just don't view it the same. I mean, I'm trying to think out now why I don't feel like that's.
Probably because you're not checking dudes out.
Well. Yeah, but that's... Well, then if that's the case, then I shouldn't feel that way about Tess Holiday either. Like, I shouldn't feel like... Well, she has to... Like, those guys don't have to change, but she has to change because I don't want to bang her at this point.
I don't know how... If that... You know, that's how you feel. I feel the same way between both of them.
I mean, I want people to live lives that they're happy about, like, is my...
I don't think that they're truly happy, though.
Well, it's hard to know that, you know? That's the thing. Like... That's the thing I see as more right about the body positivity thing. It's more about how people are judging each other because everyone has their own internal relationship to, you know, has their relationship to something. Like, if it's a positive relationship for you, like you and your food, and you're not, like, ashamed by what you're doing, and it's not causing you misery, and it's making your, like, you know, you feel like it enhances your life, you know, then I say go for, you know, that sort of lifestyle. Like, if you feel you need it. like, or if you feel that it like it makes you a better, more fulfilled person, like I don't think it's my, because I just don't know your relationship to it. Like there's certain things for me that if I did them, like I would feel a certain way about it, and it's just like negatively associated. Whereas maybe like for you, it'd be fine. Like I've always felt a lot of like shame around eating badly, so like I don't. So I mean, it would be a different relationship like for that with me. Maybe I could change that relationship if I like put my mind to it. But it's like, when I don't eat well, I feel bad about myself. So it's a different relationship. Like if I let myself go, I would just end up feeling worse about myself instead of feeling better about myself. But I don't know if that's necessarily the case with everybody else, because like you eat crap that I don't eat. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, and if I did eat it, I would feel bad about it. Like, but our relationship with it is different. It's not like I'm saying you shouldn't eat what you want to eat, or that I think you're doing something bad because it would feel bad if I did it. I mean, it's a different subjective experience. I just think the way you treat people is the thing that I think they're sort of right on. I mean, I'm not saying
like
you
should treat people badly either. That's not what I'm saying.
Yeah,
I'm saying
I'm not accusing you.
Them themselves should not push their lifestyle to act like it's healthy, though. That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
I'm not saying that they shouldn't do whatever they want. They shouldn't make it seem like it's a healthy choice, though. That's what I'm saying. Because you're telling kids who are already going to be like one of the most obese generations, like, that's going to have the biggest problem with this. You're telling them they're fine, rather than saying that, like, this is how this is going to affect your life. And we have studies that show how being obese affects you. Like, so you shouldn't say it's healthy.
Well, I still haven't found the quote which said it's healthy.
She talks about it. It's been a while because, like, they talked about it on Crowder a long time ago, because she hasn't been relevant until yesterday.
She just put out
this morning.
This Cosmopolitan thing.
Yeah.
I have to find out a thing where she says that to know if, like, she said that or not. I mean, like I said, I think you got to be honest about things, and I don't like I don't know. I hate bringing up kids and think about the children when we're talking about stuff. Like, I mean, not that that's totally illegitimate. Like, there is something to say if you're putting out stuff that is false. I understand what they want to say to people is just like, listen, you don't have to feel bad about what you're doing. Like, and that's good.
I view this the same way as I view the whole, like, view on single motherhood.
Okay.
Like, people try to justify, like, how these women are, like, bold, courageous, like, all this stuff for being single mothers. Like, and they try to make it seem like they don't need a man, like, they can do it on their own, like, all this stuff. It's not good for kids. Like, it's just not. Like, and so
it's not optimal for kids.
Yeah. I mean, I view it the same way. It's like, stop telling people that this is a better way to live. Like, be truthful with them so that, like, if this is what happens to them, then that's fine. Like, they can deal with it, and I'm not saying you can't overcome it, but stop telling them that this is a better way to do things, because it's not. Like,
yeah, well, if you're saying it's better, like, that's one thing. If you're saying, and like, I have to really see like a quote of her saying that this is like a better way to live. I mean, like, I'm sure for her, like, it makes her, it makes her happy. And I think there is something that you just want to get over the thing. I also think like there's an unhealthy aspect on the other side of people who are like super concerned about their health.
Okay, so did you watch the thing with me the other day with Gavin McInnes? Talking about the model online, the cam girl that, like, just eats food?
No.
Okay, so I'll show you that later. Like, and so, like, we won't even have to, like, discuss Tess Holly, but I'm going to show you that later, and we'll talk about next time what you think of that.
Okay, I'll
because
watch
that one was just, like, it's crazy. Like, the way that things are moving.
She was saying what?
So she's she's like 22. She's probably about the same size as Tess Holiday. And basically she gets online, like, on cams, and she just eats a shitload of food in front of people.
That's like a fetish that's not a fetish for people. I actually saw a movie where this was in. I think they're called, like, feeders or something, like the people that, like,
I mean, maybe.
But
she was eating, like,
the
like
claim...
a whole pizza, 4 hamburgers, and like dipping this stuff in milkshakes.
Ooh.
Like as she was going, and she's talking about how like, oh, she's like, you don't know my doctor, like I've never been healthier, like all this stuff. And you know, it's like, I don't know what doctor you went to, but clearly they should have their license taken away.
If you said you've never been healthier?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I guess it's all relative to her. Like, you could, maybe that's true, but it could mean like you're coming from a very worse place. You know what I'm saying? Like, so maybe not true, but there is a thing of relativity there that you got to you got to look into. I don't know, but there. I think though, what I was saying before, that there is also a negative way on the other side. Like, I think some people have. This was kind of, we were talking about at dinner the other day with like people that they have a view about health where they're like, they want to just have like perfect health, the perfect like physique, like they worry about like, you know, like they want to weigh all their food and get like the perfect micro and macro nutrients, you know. And I think that's I think it's unhealthy, maybe in a different way. I mean,
I could agree with that.
You know, it's just you get sort of locked in this like like it's in the same sort of like addictive mentality where it's like you think you can make. What I think it is, and this was my realization the other day, because I was thinking about like, because I'm a little more on that scale. Like I think it's some sort of illusion that you think you can like make yourself like a bulwark against all like sorts, like against anything like bad happening to you. You know, it's like you think you can put up your defenses so like strong and so fortified that you'll never experience any like sort of like pain in terms of health.
Yeah.
You know, and that's not right either. Like, that's not an honest view of people either. Like, I mean, the true, what's true is that the end place for the both people is inevitable, you know, and you just want to kind of calibrate to get like the most out of that, I think, as you can. Like, yeah. And I'm not saying, you know, I'm not saying be fat or don't be fat. I just don't think, you know, people just have their different relationships with it. And you know, some people do live like, you know, fine, perfectly healthy, like, you know, lives a little, you know, at least a little bit. Obviously, once you start getting to a certain scale, like it becomes harder for the body to maintain. But, you know, it's like, I just don't see, I mean, I guess I sort of sympathize with what they're trying to say. I mean, obviously, I don't like if people are saying that it's healthier, then I mean, healthier than what, I guess would be the first thing, but like healthier than like just like being within like the medical limit of average, like probably not. But I don't know. Yeah. You could be skinny and smoke 1 billion cigarettes. I don't know what that adds to this whole thing, but you know, there's different ways to, you know, there's plenty of ways to hurt yourself.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I don't know. It's just there's a lot of stuff that goes into it.
Yeah, I want to see her comments to see what people are mad about. Like, if they're just mad because they think by having her on there, it's an automatic endorsement of the idea that, you know, that means Cosmo is saying that healthier, like that it's healthier to be bigger, then I would disagree with the criticism. Like, if all she was saying was what I was reading the quotes of in that article, where it's like she's just kind of speaking like, you know, I felt horrible about myself, and then I changed my relationship with it, and I feel, you know, yeah, you know, and
I mean, it's one of those things that's totally. Like, how did you change your relationship with it though? It's like, did you try to better yourself, or did you just go ahead and indulge yourself more? Like, you know, for that could be the way to salvation, though. You know, I was thinking about this the other day, and like, if you have something that's like you're carrying around with you, right? Some sort of like shame or guilt around something. What do you think is the best way to handle that? Like, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. That's what I was thinking about. You know, is because I don't know the answer to that either. You know, but it's possible that maybe, like, the first thing you want to do is stop making it, like, a big thing, you know? Like, you don't want to enlarge these, like,
like we'll take food because that's kind of what we're talking about, right? Like if you have a relationship where you feel like addicted to food and you can't stop yourself, but you feel like shit every time you do it, and you're hating your, your body every time you eat, and you look and you're just disgusted with yourself, like maybe a better like, but you find for some reason that you can't change. Like I think like a better approach might be, instead of being like, oh, that means like I have to stop myself, and like, then you like starve yourself, you don't look at it, and like you still have the same relationship to it, but like you're just like shutting yourself off to it in some way, or going like crazy in that direction. I mean, obviously I'm presenting an extreme scenario, but maybe the better way to start changing yourself is first to like look at that thing and to stop feeling that way about it, and then you can kind of like, then you have like the power to change it, whether or not you choose to or not. You do kind of allow yourself to be okay with eating, like or just in this scenario, with eating at first, because then you stop like being afraid of it. I just find when you are afraid of things and you want, like, it's like when it's like when someone tells like, don't think of this, then it's like that's the thing you think of. And I feel like that's kind of what happens when you're in like that sort of like mentally addictive, like, state, where it's like by trying to pretend it's not a problem and it's not there, you only make it like worse. So this is just my own theory. I was trying to think about, just maybe the best way to go about it is to, like, first you have to like confront it. Like there could like a period of like of just like trying to stop that thing of yourself that tries to control that, tries to control your instinct, or tries to control the instinct that you're uncomfortable with. And then maybe like that'll allow you like the freedom to come back to it and be like, now I can like, I've kind of accepted this thing about myself, like this need in my psyche that I didn't want to admit was there, and then you can understand it better. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, I mean, I could see that. I don't know though. Just to tell yourself you don't have a problem though is, I just don't know if that is actually the right way to go about it though, or to act like you don't have a problem. It's like, I think most people do try to do too much when they first start with this stuff, but I don't know, to go the complete opposite way and not act like there's not a problem with it, I think is counterproductive.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I like to think of things like, it's not whether or not it's like a problem. It's more just like, what do I want? It's not, I'm not looking at an aspect of myself and trying to hate it or shame or feel bad about it. I just want to like understand what it is. It's like, what's going on here? Like, why do I think this way? Why do I feel this way? Just trying to understand it as like, as removed from it as possible, like away from your emotional responses to things. I just, I try to understand. It's like, what is this problem in me? It's like, or what is this? No, not problem. What is this thing in me? What is this reaction? Like, why do I fall into this pattern? It's like, it's like, what motivation, like, or, subconscious process is being like played out here. And then I kind of understand it from that perspective. And then it's not a matter of whether or not whether or not it's a problem. It's a matter of, okay, now that I understand it, it's like, how do I want to like funnel this thing, or how do I want to treat that, or how do I want to like, do I want to change it? Like, is that pattern fine? Like, is it okay to keep doing what I'm doing? Like, do I feel okay with that? Would that be the life I want to live? And then you start thinking about it like that. And it's not whether or not it's a problem. It's just a matter of, this is the choice I'm making. As long as you're making like a righteous choice, and you're making the choice, I feel more okay with it, like that's the way I approach those kind of things. I'm trying to get a scrub out of my mind, like the idea of just, of hating parts about, or being very judgmental about parts about myself, because I don't find that it actually, it doesn't help bring about change in any, in any way that's positive. You just end up, okay, well, now I just have this thing in me that I don't like, and I just trying to like deny that it's there.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. It's a hard subject.
Yeah. Well, Tess, you big old heifer, you. You're supported by one guy here. I don't know. I do want to. I gotta read her. I gotta read the article.
I was gonna say, we'll look up more of it later,
and then and the good thing about it, I can get a Cosmo, and then I can kind of learn 10 ways to make my men jerk off or have an orgasm that hits the roof. You ever read the articles in Cosmo?
No.
Oh my goodness, dude. They're so like, ooh. People print this in a magazine? It's like,
is any of it true?
I have no idea.
Well, I mean, just like when you read it, it's like, no, like that wouldn't work.
I don't know. I was like, because the places I read them was like taking a shit in my house when I was a kid. Because like my mom would have them, like, she had Cosmos around here, like laying around the house, and I like to be doing something when you're just sitting there. So, I flip through some articles and be like, oh, like, and so at that time, I had no experience with sex. So who the hell is, and I don't remember like the specific of the tips. So I couldn't say whether or not they worked or didn't work. But I'll tell you this is like women reading porno out in public, It's like, if I was like a hustler just like sitting on a plane, people would look at that and be like, But the people reading Cosmos, like, this is salacious stuff here. Like, it's like stories about like, and then I took him back to my apartment and blew him or something like that, or like you could like massage him here and put your finger here and lick here, kind of shit.
You're having to read it, and it's not pictures. That's the problem.
Yeah,
so men have to have pictures.
Yeah, men are more visual creatures.
Yeah,
so I've heard. But yeah, that's what I learned from those things. It's like these people are just reading porn out in public and no one's calling them on it. I get all huffy with people. I say, "Excuse me." Just kidding. But yeah, funny. I don't know.
Now, what was that other thing we were going to talk about today? It was like the main thing we were going to talk about.
The main thing, even though we got totally off on a tangent there.
So we were on Twitter. That was where I was reading a lot of stuff.
Oh, it was something about...
Oh, it was Florida.
Yeah.
The primaries in Florida, happened, and Trump's guy from the Republicans won his primary, so that was good. And then
Trump's Desantis,
yeah. And then Gillum won the Democrat primary.
Who's like a pretty far out there, like left wing guy.
Yeah, he's a Bernie Sanders.
Yeah,
follower.
Bernie Sanders campaigned for him, or did he? Right? Did he campaign for him, or did he just endorse him?
Or he just endorses him.
Yeah,
I don't his policies and all that stuff. He's a socialist, but so apparently they tried to make it look like Desantis was racist.
Wait, can you try turning up the volume maybe on your mic?
The volume's all the way up.
Are you sure it's not all the way down?
Yes.
Flip it the other way.
Because the volume is from my
hear
headphones. That. Yeah, because see, it just gets rid of it in my headphones.
Okay. If I turn up all the volume in my thing, you sound fine. Maybe my volume was too low.
Yeah. See, there you go.
The problem was me. That's what I'm trying to say the whole time.
But so basically they tried to make him look racist because he used a very common term to describe a situation, not the person, but like a situation. And they're like trying to make it sound like he called the other guy a monkey.
Yeah. Well, what the quote in context was, he said, "Don't monkey this up. meaning the like, or is
Yeah,
that
no,
he's
he
like
said-
we have
he
to
said
continue the policies of Rick Scott.
Yeah, we shouldn't monkey this up by going with socialist policies and whatever else he said after that.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
basically, monkey this up, which means to mess it up.
Yeah, anyone
Like,
and
It's a general term.
and what this was like the progress made by a Republican governor. He was saying like, oh, Florida's been great, and like we don't want to monkey up all the progress we've made by supporting a candidate who has like far left wing agenda.
Yeah, like I saw somebody.
And he actually didn't even mention the candidate in there. He just said specifically the agenda. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
he didn't say the guy's name at all. What he said was, by going towards left wing policies. Like that was the general quote.
Yeah. Well, and then the other thing too is like they do this, and like it doesn't have anything to do with like what he's talking about. So now later on, I was actually listening to Tim Pool talk about it, and he said now what they're going to do is in a couple months when it gets closer to the election, they're going to say, oh yeah, Desantis, he was in this racial scandal a couple months ago when he called his and then they won't quote it, they won't tell you what it's about, but they'll just say he was in a racial issue.
Yeah, and they won't shush little girl. Yeah, and they won't say that it was like there was definitely some articles that were like misleading because
they literally took it way out of context.
Like they were misleading because
the titles of it basically said, don't monkey this up by electing the first black governor. That's basically like how they pasted and copied those things together.
Well, let's look at like what was the Hill's headline.
I don't know, I blasted them yesterday.
The theme is professionalism now. We need to look up the headlines. The Hill.
Hey man, y'all made fun of me the other day when I had like all these things pulled up on what we were talking about.
Who made fun of you?
You and Mikey.
I don't know anyone named that. DeSantis, Florida voters shouldn't monkey this up by voting for Gillum.
See?
Yeah.
Like, he didn't say that. That is a false quote. I hope... You know what? Actually, you know what I hope? I hope he sues them.
Yeah, well, because when you read the headline, I don't think monkey it up is that common of a saying, by the way.
It is.
It's a weird turn of phrase.
No, that is a very common phrase.
I never hear people say monkey this
It's because you don't fix a lot of things.
Yeah, that's true.
when you have to fix stuff all the time, that's a very common phrase. It's the same as Jimmy rig, or there's another phrase that people use that's even worse than that I'm sure you've heard. Like, they use all those kind of terms. That one in the middle there might be a bad term to use.
Well, but you're actually making the opposite point
on that one. Yes, but that's why they came up with other terms like Jimmy rig. Like, that's just like to rig something. That's the same as like monkey it up means like you're tearing it up. You're messing things up.
I actually kind of want to look now to see like the origin of that. Monkey.
Because monkeys tear things up.
Yeah, I guess. 9 monkey phrases and their meanings from the Oxford Dictionary blog.
And actually, what
Cold
I
enough
watched
to freeze
Tim Pool
the
talk about it as well. And apparently monkey up is also a coding term.
Yeah.
Yeah, monkeying something up, messing it up.
I guess.
Or rigging something, basically.
That one didn't have any of the monkey stuff I wanted.
So.
Santis, monkey this
it's
up.
a common term.
Well, like, because they're putting his name and, like, saying don't monkey this up by voting for him, which...
Actually, I saw quotes from Chuck Schumer, Barack Obama, other people that the Republicans were pulling out that all use that term.
Yeah. The only thing I'm seeing for now when I search Google...
Monkey wrench. You threw a monkey wrench into something, meaning you messed it up.
Yeah. Well, that's one that's, that's common. Like, that one I've heard more often. I guess it's something you say, like, I don't fix anything, so I can't monkey things up because I am... they keep this monkey away from stuff.
I was just saying, it's just one of those things. Like it's a very common phrase for people who like do mechanic stuff or like
yeah. Because I saw Sean King's tweet, and that was kind of his like implication that it was like that's not something people say, so like it must be.
Yeah, because Sean King doesn't fix shit either, because he's a giant pussy.
Yeah, well,
and he's white.
And there's that. White people don't fix things.
Rednecks.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't find anything on where that comes from, but yeah, I mean, it's one of those subtly like bad headlines where it's it's not completely wrong, like the headline where he says
no, that is completely wrong from what he said.
Well,
he did not. They are implying that he called him a monkey.
Well, what it says don't monkey this up by voting for Gillum, right? That's what the headline said.
Yeah.
Right?
That's a false statement.
Okay, what he said was don't monkey this up by voting for left-wing policies.
Yeah.
Right?
Very different.
Which would be voting for Gillum.
In a way, yes, but that's not. But it's out of context.
Well, yeah,
it's a quote that's taken out of context to clearly mean something else. So that's libel.
Well, no, it's not libel because you could like easily say like that's what they were saying.
No, that they knew what they were doing when they took it out of context like that. You were trying to misrepresent somebody's character, and do something like that. That is definitely libel.
No, it's not libel. Because
I would sue the shit out of him.
It's too subtle.
That's
what I'm saying.
That is not subtle.
It's pretty subtle.
They said he called him a monkey, basically.
Yeah, but it's subtle because like they didn't say he called him a monkey. They said what he said, and just said like the second.
They didn't say what he said though. They put two different sentences together.
They said don't monkey this up by voting for
socialist policies.
Right, which would mean a vote for Gillum.
It would mean a vote for any Democrat. You could say.
But specifically, in that context,
no,
it meant for that guy.
You'd have to read it like that.
No.
I could say that he meant for any socialist policy if I wanted to do it that way.
But the more honest like interpretation is that he obviously meant Gillum.
No.
Of course.
That is not an honest interpretation.
Of course he meant Gillum.
It's not honest. It's not what he said. I'm tired. No, I'm not going to let you win this because I'm tired of people. Because this is exactly what people tried to say on the Republican side, and I'm tired of this backing down bullshit.
Yeah.
People on our side said, well, he should have used a term like mess it up. He should have used this other term. No, he said something because that is a common term. They took it out of context because they are pieces of shit and they are liars, and we should not have to back down on commonly used terms for meaningless things that he said because these people want to make him look like a racist. That's bullshit, and we should not have to retract that because of these people.
Yeah, well, I definitely... Listen, you definitely see that there's an agenda in them putting the two things next to each other. It's like his name and the phrase monkey it up. Like they're putting those two together and making it like seem like he said the things in connection with each other. Like the reason I said it was subtle is because you couldn't sue them for libel there because like what he was saying had he was clearly telling them don't vote for him. Like that was the general message. Like let's keep what was working, vote for me. Like that was the message. Like and don't vote for him. Like that was the message. So he was like So he was saying that, but like that wasn't the exact quote.
Hey.
You can't hear me?
No. It's playing the outro.
The outro? Oh, whoops. Yeah, that means we're getting close to the end here. Yeah. But we're actually going to have to record a new one of those. But yes. I wonder if that'll show up in there. Damn, this one flew by. Yeah, I mean, I just think it's it's very, to me, that's a subtle, insidious thing they did there, where they have like where they distort kind of his, what would you call that? Like they distort what they keep it enough within the frame what he did, so they can plead ignorance on it. Like it's not totally not what he said.
You better hope I'm not the judge.
Like it's not totally not what he said, though. it's close enough in there that you could say like
I said, you better hope I'm not the judge.
that's clear. Like it's clearly is what he meant though. Like those two things together.
Even if he did mean that,
he was saying
he does
that,
not mean it the way that they are trying.
Yes,
to
well that's
show
why.
it.
Well, that's why it's so subtly like geniusly evil because it's subtle enough where it's like, no, that is what he said. He was saying don't vote for him, but it's like
I'm not your judge if somebody sues you.
Well, like they're framing it as like, well,
if somebody sued him, I would award the person that sued money.
Well,
and I would bankrupt your fucking paper.
Well, then I guess thank God for the Hill that you're not a judge. You're just the judge of you're the social judge.
Mm-hmm.
This podcast is right now, right here. We're making a stand. You stand judged. How do you plea? Guilty.
They probably think that'd get them some like mercy or something, some leniency.
That's like no, that makes it actually twice as bad. You get stoned twice.
I wanted to watch you fight a little.
Yeah, good. I want to see him fight. Go on, boy. I like it when you squeal.
Also, if anybody's listening, wants to give us some comments on who I should attack on Twitter.
Yeah.
At Dead End. Is it? No, it's Dead Radio
USA.
USA.
Wait, listen. Save all that nice stuff for now. Okay, we're gonna end it here, and then we're gonna do a little outro, and that will be the new outro.
Put the outro on, but we need to say it as many times as possible. At Dead Radio USA.
At Dead Radio USA. You have to say it at the beginning, because honestly, for a lot of people, I looked at our analytics. A lot of the people, like they get around like 10, 15 minutes in, and then they're like, all right. Well, that's on YouTube.
Funny stuff doesn't get till way past.
Yeah, I know. They're stupid. Hey, jackass who's not listening at this point. You're an idiot. Morons. You just miss classic. This is more that production stuff. I'm gonna start cutting out some of like if there's like a particularly juicy thing, like I'm gonna start trying to cut them out and then put that on Instagram and promote it through there. But
yeah,
we're gonna figure all this out. We just need to. Well, listen, it's a slow process, but I want to go faster now. We've got ourselves in a bunch of different things. Our marker is going up, little trend towards the top. But if we stop now and we don't get better, like that'll be it. And I'm making a land. Shut up. I'm pumping up the troops. Line in the sand. Sticking a post in the ground. I am monkeying it up.
If we don't get better, we're going to quit.
Did I use that right? No. I don't want to quit because I actually just enjoy doing it.
Yeah, we don't care.
Even if it stays shitty, but I don't like putting out things that
we're going to
shitty.
put some more effort into it, so we're about to get on Twitter and start tweeting some people.
Yeah, we're going to monkey that up. Is that correct? Correct yes. Usage?
Yep.
All right, there it is.
Later.
Goodbye. Okay, and thank you for listening. Do you want to thank them?
No.
So ungrateful. If you would like to email us with suggestions or mean, hateful things, you can reach us at thedeadendradio@gmail.com
or at Dead Radio USA on Twitter,
where my lucky co-host will be insulting people he doesn't like.
Yep. But remember, if you send us bad things, I will come after you.
We're just instigating war. And that'll be at the end of all of these. So now, just for God's sake, don't get us in trouble. All right. Goodbye.